Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the horror show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
Robert Duell.
I mean, Fuego, here.
Back with another Patreon request. This was another poll winner that we are finally catching up on, and this is for M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan ding dong. Sham hammer.
Wow. M. Night Shyamalan's third outing, right? Or is
Fourth, I think.
No, I think this was before
after
Signs.
This was
before
This was
Signs.
third. So
Yeah.
this was
Was
Sixth
it?
Sixth
Third.
Sense, Unbreakable, and then Village.
And then Village, and then
Yep.
Signs, yeah. That's why I
I'm not gonna argue.
kind of only like the first four Shyamalan movies, so those are the first four.
Oh man, he veered in some whack-ass territory.
But I will say, doing this review like we normally do, we're going to do our overall thoughts, then we'll talk about the story, the acting, the effects, all of that good stuff in turn. And if you guys don't want to be spoiled for The Village, then don't watch this until you've watched it, I suppose.
That's the most fun part, is spoiling this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's part of the issue when we have to
Yeah.
talk about, and especially in the re-review kind of format that we're doing. So
I think we can keep it vague enough.
we'll see. When I first watched this movie, I was disappointed with it.
Same.
Because I actually wasn't the hugest fan of Unbreakable the first time I watched it either, but that grew on me over time, and now I absolutely love it. And this was the first time I truly revisited this film since the 90s. Or was it the early 2000s? This was
2000.
I think it
This
was
was
early
2000s, yeah. So, nonetheless, it's been well over 10 years since I've seen this movie. And I popped it on, and knowing the kind of two main twists of the film that disappointed me originally, going into the film knowing those things, this time around, I really liked this movie a lot. Like, I thought it was a brilliantly made movie, a brilliantly acted movie. Yes, the two twists that came. One of them, I don't even think I was really as disappointed as everyone else was with it, but the other one, I definitely was. As, if you guys know what kind of horror fan I am, then you know what twist disappointed me. But having watched it this time around, I feel like that twist truly fit in the story more so than what I was hoping was actually going on. So, ultimately, this time around, I am now a really big fan of The Village. It's still my third favorite Shyamalan movie, but I like it so much more than I used to now. Robert?
I definitely agree. And like him and I were talking actually last week and everything before doing this review, and we were basically talking about that whole thing of if you're going back on a review of this and you already know what you're expecting, it will make for a much better movie. And damn well it did. Just between again, the visuals, the set, the clothing, the acting, and everything like that. And I forgot even like all the actors that were even in this.
Same. It's a stacked
Yeah,
cast,
it is.
man.
It's super stacked. And like we were saying though, initially when I first watched this, I think I watched this it was probably a good like 10, 12 plus years ago and everything. Definitely didn't like it. And again, it was because of one of the twists. The other twist I didn't necessarily mind too much, but again, I don't want to spoil it right now.
Twist
and
one or
everything.
twist two?
I would say more of twist one. I was a little more disappointed in.
Yeah.
That was what enraged me.
Yeah.
Like-
I thought it was one kind of movie, and then when I
Exactly.
realized it wasn't, I was very
Exactly.
upset.
And
I
then-
felt very misled.
Yeah, and once I got done, like basically towards like the end of this onto the third act, like I was more engaged in the characters and more engaged in actually the universe of what he made and what they were doing in the village and everything. And personally, if you haven't watched this in X amount of years and you didn't like it the original first time, definitely go back and rewatch this. Especially if you know what's going to happen, you can basically look aside all that and actually be able to look deeper into the story and what they were trying to accomplish.
Fuego.
That makes 3 for 3. Peas in a
Nice.
pod, peeps. Yeah, I walked out. I saw this in theaters, and I walked out enraged. I hated this movie. I've gone on record and talked mad smack about this movie for years and years about how much I despised it. Upon a rewatch, I found a different essence within the storytelling, and it's a very heartfelt love story, and that really resonated with me, as the hopeless romantic idiot that I am a lot of the time. And Bryce Dallas Howard in her first film is so good. Can't wait for us to talk about her in the acting, but Joaquin is good. I forgot about Adrian Brody being the candy-capped guy and stuff, and you've got William Hurt, Brian Cox. It's beautifully
Sigourney Weaver.
shot. Sigourney Weaver too. Yeah,
Jesse
man.
Eisenberg
I mean,
in there for a couple shots and
for like
everything
one,
too.
he had like one line.
Well, yeah, well, he was a couple scenes and everything, but yeah, he had
Yeah.
like one maybe line.
It was near
Yeah.
the end of the film. Yeah, but this is one I'm actually going to go out and buy. I own most other Shyamalans. I own Signs. I own Unbreakable, and Split and Sixth Sense and stuff. This is one that needs to be in my collection now because it's a terrific film, and I'm okay with once again going into it knowing I was more accepting. So.
Agreed.
So the story, just briefly, again, since it's such an older movie, it's about a group of people that are living in the woods. It's a period piece, and it very much feels like a period piece. And these people are disconnected from anything else that's going on. We don't see anything else. It's just their community we see. So it's really kind of ambiguous as to when and where it's all happening, but it's this community that doesn't use technology. It's very old school, and they have this sort of barrier of woods that they're all afraid of because there's apparently creatures that are out there that will get you if you go into the woods. So everyone's encouraged to stay in town, and it's a thriving community within this place. They farm for themselves and all this good stuff. And there's we meet Joaquin Phoenix's character, who was originally proposed to by another face that we know very well now, Judy Greer.
Yeah.
And he turns her down. She's really sad. Turns out he very much is keen on Bryce Dallas Howard, her sister, who happens to be blind. And again, the fact that you said it's her first role, it's still absolutely crazy.
Yeah, she came like right off Broadway and got cast for this movie, so she had that like rapport and experience. But this was her first movie. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
So God, why do they have to message while we're recording
ding,
right
dong.
now? Seriously, you guys, why?
Ring-a-ling, ding, ding, dong.
It always
Harry.
happens when I'm recording. Like, everyone goes back and forth on the Susie. So anyway, the story continues, and they're trying. Eventually, there's a to-do with a creature that comes into town, and there's an accident with Joaquin Phoenix, and Bryce Dallas Howard is left to try and leave the village, go through the woods to seek help, and for the first time,
Despite being blind.
despite being blind. But
sent some
that's
people
part
with
of
her.
why
Yeah.
she's allowed to be the one to accomplish
Mm-hmm.
it. So that's the long and short of the story. And again, it's a really well done story when you take it for what it is. And segueing into the act, well, I guess story wise, with you guys now knowing what it is.
Oh, I
we're
definitely
all
enjoyed
agreed.
it a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially the ending and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically really. I don't really want to talk really too much about with the story because. And like I already said in my initial thoughts, like I really didn't like this fucking movie at all.
Yeah.
Like going back now that I know everything that was going to happen, you're able to look at and appreciate all the other little things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was more just appreciative of the extent of manipulation, I guess, without spoiling stuff.
Yeah.
Just in there's some things going on in the community where things are not what they seem, so to speak, and I found that a lot more fascinating this time around since I knew it was kind of coming. So, but yeah, I mean, once again, it's a love story at its core in a lot of ways, and just the performances as we segue into acting, that connection in their scenes between Joaquin and Bryce are really sweet, and there's like kind of a quiet compassion that's really cool in this movie. So.
Yeah, and obviously, all the names we just listed, William Hurt, Adrian Brody, Sigourney Weaver, they're all acting legends for a reason. They're all tremendous. And Adrian Brody, this was still one of his more early on the scene roles, or at least started when I started taking notice of him. But yeah, I mean, the acting is so strong that it makes you believe in this world that isn't our world necessarily. So that says a lot. And I will also say that the sound design and music choices, like The Village is now a score that I want to add to my collection if I can get a vinyl of it or something like that.
It was Oscar nominated, actually.
It's so good, and the sound design, the grunts and the growls and
It sells it, man.
but not only that, but the sound design when Bryce is experiencing things, when it all gets kind of muted and you can't hear certain things, but you hear her breathing, kind of stuff like that. Like that's all sound design, and it keeps you in the film, and I absolutely love it. How about for you guys?
So yeah, I think it was Hans Zimmer that did the script, if I'm not mistaken.
Score?
Butcher the score, yeah, the script. Derp Swags. Yeah, butcher me in the comments if it's not. But yes, this was Oscar nominated. It didn't win, unfortunately, but it just comes off so distinctively and
Is it
resoundingly.
Hans Zimmer? It feels like a James Newton Howard.
It conveys
joint,
emotion.
though.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
might be
definitely.
right. Let me
Check real quick because as I was watching the film, Catherine and I were just both like, "Wow, this is a really damn good score," and we were really curious to see who it was. I know
James
it's
Newton Howard.
Okay, well there you go. What else has he done? I'm trying to think.
He oh my god, he's one of my favorites. He did Braveheart and
Derp Swaggies.
He's
Epic
done
fail,
a
Fuego.
lot of stuff.
Yeah, but nonetheless, man. I mean, yeah, and even the sound design. I feel like at times when we're following Bryce's character, like they turn up the sound around her because of the fact of being a blind person.
He also did Signs and Unbreakable,
She's going to be
so it
more
makes
in
sense, yeah.
tuned
He's the
with her
Shyamalan
surroundings and
guy.
everything transpiring around her. And it's also interesting the way they factor that in with the plot, the fact that she's blind and just sounds as opposed to sight with these creatures and stuff. I mean, I don't know, man. It's from a audio standpoint a masterfully put together film, just like pretty much everything else about this. This was maybe one of the last great Shyamalan movies before his resurgence over the last few years. Yeah, good stuff.
I believe he did Avatar as well. James Newton Howard is
Epic, prolific.
Lady in the
I'm
Water
sure he
too.
has.
He did
because that
King
was
Kong.
Bryce Dallas Howard as well.
Yeah. Well, he did. Yeah, he
Paul
did
Giamatti.
Giamatti.
Yep.
And wasn't
Atlantis. Maybe he
wasn't
didn't do
Shyamalan
Avatar.
in that movie, if I remember
Probably.
correctly? Wasn't he like
He was
the
in
hero?
this one
Like
too.
the hero. Yeah, he did. He was the guy at the
Maybe,
Yeah,
he did. Maybe I'm wrong
yeah.
about Braveheart. Let's see.
Yeah.
God,
But
he did so
real,
many. No,
real
I am
quick
wrong
and
about
everything
that, but, yeah.
about like the score and everything.
Oh, Primal Fear, Devil's Advocate. Okay,
Oh,
sorry,
nice.
sorry.
Yeah.
sorry.
What a repertoire, man.
Oh wow,
Dang.
yeah. So real quick, just glossing real quick over the score and everything. My thoughts. I thought it was beautiful, especially from I used to play violin.
Yeah.
And everything, along with our little Miss Susie out there.
Ah.
So I thought this score was great, and it really was a nice fit, especially for the colonial aspect.
Yeah, it feels period specific
It
for
was.
where they're
It
supposed
was.
to be in. The
And
film,
it really
you know?
did. There was actually some again because I do know what was going on in the movie. I was able to get more into actually the characters now. So with those little music cues, especially of those little violin hits and everything like that,
Yeah, and the music at the wedding too.
yeah,
I
like
mean,
it really helped to bring you into the story. Like, and that's really about the short and sweet of it.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And then effects-wise, I mean, there's not a ton of there's virtually no gore, and there's not a lot of effects otherwise outside of costume design and
set design too.
Set design, production design.
They built that
That
entire
stone house, that was gorgeous.
They built
Yeah.
that entire village in Pennsylvania, in rural Pennsylvania. They built the
I was
whole
hoping. I was
place.
hoping they were actually filming there and everything because I know the.
Oh, he films like everything in the Philadelphia area,
Okay.
Pennsylvania and stuff, because that's where he's from. So I think all of his movies are set in Pennsylvania. if I
Yeah,
recall correctly.
Okay.
it was all really,
Great
really
looking
awesome,
movie.
beautiful,
Great
beautiful
looking
to
movie.
see.
And he shoots the hell out of it too. I mean, that's the
yeah,
one thing. Even
the
if he's,
cinematography.
if he's had
Well, that wedding
storytelling,
scene, like that
yeah,
was beautiful.
Yeah, you felt like you were there frolicking with all those people, with the camera movements and everything.
Dude, my
and,
favorite shot is the shot of her hand extended out the door from this side where you see the creature coming towards
Oh,
her
yeah.
just before he grabs
Yep.
and pulls her inside. I was like, that's just gorgeous filmmaking.
Yep.
Yeah, and the hiding when those monsters first come in, and just some of that shot selection was great. He's had storytelling issues over his career, but he's never made a bad-looking film, so that's something
No.
to at least give Shyamalan credit
Yeah,
for.
The Visit, and it's found footage, so it's a little tough at
Yeah,
times.
I never watched that one.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
So yeah, I think that's gonna pretty much wrap up our thoughts on The Village, guys.
Wrap
If
it
you
up,
haven't
Pete.
watched this in a while because the twists, either of them pissed you off, namely the first one, which is the one that we all had issues with, then definitely revisit it now with that knowledge in mind, because the movie is really fantastic if you can get around your feelings about certain things not being what you were hoping they might be. It's just a fantastic watch, and it went from Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and then down here to The Village, to Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, The Village. Now, pretty easily for me, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, it rose in the ranks, man, for sure.
It's
you'd have
jumped
to
up a
say.
couple tiers. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, and I think for me,
There you go,
I was
tears,
so...
there you go. Yeah.
And I think I was so pissed about that first twist that when the second twist came, I was like, "What? That too?" I was already
Yeah.
so mad about the first twist that I was just unreceptive to the second one.
And honestly, though, when you got that explanation and everything, you can honestly kind of see why. Like,
Yeah.
I don't honestly blame him. Like,
You got my gears going now. I think a Shyamalan tier ranking is in the
Ooh,
offing.
tier
I
rankings
think.
are all the rage on our channel.
I think so, man, because that's a great way to rank these movies. It
Yeah,
really
I've
would
still
be.
never
Yeah.
watched The Last Airbender.
Airbender is going to be the last one.
never watched
Don't
it.
even do it.
No,
Nope,
you
don't
gotta
even
watch
do
it if you're gonna take place in the tier ranking.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it's
need
gonna
to
be Ground
rewatch it
Zero.
too. I need to rewatch it too. It's on one of the streaming things.
Didn't he also do like After Earth?
I think it's actually
I wanna
on Netflix
say?
along with the
After
series
Earth,
now.
Did he do that?
He did
I don't
After
know.
Earth with,
I don't know.
with his son, or with
actually-
Jaden and
yeah.
Will. Yeah,
Yeah, I've actually never.
Oh,
seen
that
one
movie?
either.
God,
Yeah.
that movie sucked.
I've never seen
Yeah.
that one either.
That was terrible.
that was not a good one.
He has a
His-
string of misses, man, and
Yeah,
that's
he
why
did.
everybody thought he was dead in the
Well,
water.
no, the
But
biggest,
again, that's why it would be a great tier ranking. So,
Yeah.
all right, we will have to
biggest
revisit
problem
that.
was Will Smith's kid.
We'll bring Robert in on this tier ranking.
He's
too,
I'm down.
My son's gonna be a thing.
All right, so I think that's going to do it, you guys. Let us know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on The Village? Did you not like it like us, and are you willing to revisit it like we did? Let us know all of your thoughts in those comments down below. While you're down there, click the like button and subscribe. Ding that notification bell. Switch the notifieds to all if you want to make sure you don't miss our episodes going forward, especially that Shyamalan tier ranking. If we end up getting to that sooner rather than later, we'll see. Until next time, however, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Robert Duell.
And gracias, I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.